The Renault 5 is the car everyone is talking about right now. Awards, retro design, every shortlist in Europe. The Nissan Micra is built on the exact same platform, shares the same motors and batteries, and starts at €27,990 in Austria. Somehow, barely anyone is paying attention. That is either a branding failure or a genuine opportunity. And after walking around it here at the Salzburg Motor Show, the answer gets complicated. One walk around. Everything you need to decide whether the Micra deserves a place on your shortlist next to the car it is built on. The circular LED daytime running lights are the first thing that separates this from the Renault 5. They reference the K12 generation from 2002 and give the front a squinting, slightly confrontational expression. Nothing like the Renault's retro charm. The proportions underneath are shared. Under 4 meters long, under 1.8 meters wide, 18-inch wheels on every trim. But the black cladding around the bumpers and arches, the lower rear loading line, and the optional two-tone roof pull the visual mask downward. The Renault wants to remind you of the past. The Micra chose a different direction, quieter, less playful, more resolved. Whether that color palette and those cleaner surfaces resonate is a taste question, not a quality one. What the interior does to the price argument surprised me, and the specific detail that changed my mind is coming up. Open the door, and the layout is immediately familiar if you have sat in a Renault 5. Two 10.1-inch screens sit side by side across the dashboard. One for instruments, one for infotainment with Google built in. Physical buttons for the climate control sit below the touchscreen. That sounds like a small detail. It is not. On a cold morning in Salzburg, adjusting the temperature without navigating a submenu is the difference between a car that respects your time and one that doesn't. The steering wheel has a hefty diameter and real buttons. Regen paddles on the back adjust braking recovery, which is a philosophy statement from Nissan, not a feature checkbox. They are giving the driver granular control over the one thing that defines how an EV feels in traffic. The materials are soft touch where your hands land, with padded fabric on the dashboard and doors. 3 interior themes are available: modern, audacious, and chill, each changing the upholstery, trim accents, and the 48-color ambient lighting. Between the front seats, a molded outline of Mount Fuji is pressed into the center console storage. I have spent time in cars at €10,000 more than this, with less considered cabin surfaces. I did not expect to be saying that about a Nissan Micra. Think about the last time you sat in the back of a small hatchback and your knees hit the seat in front before you had finished sitting down. The Micra is better than that, but not by a wide margin. 2 adults fit for shorter journeys with acceptable knee room, and you can slide your feet under the front seats. Headroom is adequate. 3 across is technically possible, but not something I would recommend beyond a quick trip across town. 2 ISOFIX points are fitted. For families with young children in rear-facing seats, the space works. For adults on a 2-hour motorway run, the front cabin is where you want to be. Whether that rear seat limitation matters depends on how many passengers you actually carry versus how many you think you should be able to. The boot answers a different question, and the number there is better than expected. A weekly shop with 4 bags and a folded pushchair on top. That is what 326 liters, around 11.5 cubic feet, looks like in practice. The 60-40 split rear seats fold to extend the space to 1,106 liters, around 39 cubic feet. Think about how you charge your phone. You plug it in at night, wake up full, and forget about it. The 52 kilowatt-hour Micra works the same way on a home wall box. 408 kilometers of WLTP range, around 253 miles. That is a full week of city commuting without thinking about a cable. The 40 kilowatt-hour version offers 310 kilometers, around 193 miles, with 122 horsepower. The larger battery raises that to 150 horsepower. Neither figure is fast in any meaningful sense. Both are effortless. 245 Newton-meters of instant torque means every junction and every merge feels like the car anticipated what you wanted before you finish pressing the pedal. 0 to 100 takes 8 seconds in the 52 kilowatt-hour, around 7.7 seconds to 60 miles per hour. DC fast charging at 100 kilowatts takes 15 to 80% in around 30 minutes. A heat pump comes standard on every trim. In an Austrian winter, that is not a feature. That is the difference between the range the sticker promises and the range you actually get. Several of you flagged this car after the Renault 5 walkaround last year. You were right to flag it. €27,990 in Austria for the Engage trim with the 40 kilowatt-hour battery. The Renault 5 starts lower in most markets and carries more cultural momentum. What the Micra offers instead is a quieter cabin mood, marginally longer range from identical batteries thanks to slightly better aerodynamics, and the Nissan badge for buyers who find the Renault's nostalgia a little too deliberate.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.